Hey everyone, welcome to another Open Cluster Management Community Meetings. Today is May 26th, 2023. On the agenda today, Quinn Howe is going to talk about the add-on lifecycle enhancement. She's going to do a demo and it's going to be about the install strategy and rollout strategy. Quinn Howe, if you're ready, please take it away. Thank you.
Yeah, let me share my screen. Okay, so today I want to do a demo for the add-on install strategy and roll strategy we talked before. So we previously submit two proposals to the community. One is from Qiujian for the install strategy. In this proposal, we are trying to configure which cluster the related managed cluster add-on should be enabled by this install strategy. And later we have a proposal for a route strategy. The route is trying to support a version-based add-on installation for the group of clusters. And also we want to trigger the add-ons upgrade by a configuration change, and user can achieve the rolling upgrade and canary upgrade by specify a rollout strategy. That's the background. And we made some change to the cluster management add-on and manage cluster add-on API. I want to use this slide to quick go through it, and then I will do a demo for it. So to achieve the install strategy, we add a install strategy field in CMA API. The type can be menu and placement. When the type is placement, user can define the placement in this field. That means that the placement select the cluster. On those cluster, we will install the add-ons on them. And also in the configs field, the user can define which configuration they want those add-on use. And also to support the version-based add-on installation, we introduce a new config called add-on hub config. The name and its internal field have a desired version. This config can reflect the add-on version. And to achieve routes, inside the install strategy, user can define the route strategy. This route strategy is used for when your configuration change, whether the config name or the content change, the route strategy will trigger a route for the add-ons. The strategy tab can be update all, rolling update, and rolling update with canary. In this example is rolling update, and with a max concurrency rate, its by default is 25%. So the add-on will upgrade at this rate. And also in the status, we introduced a install progression. It reflects the upgrade progress for a per placement. Or you can see at the last, there is a placement name and namespace. It's the same as what you defined in install strategy. And also there is a condition to reflect the overall install or upgrade progress for your add-ons. And also a field called config reference. It lists the details of which configuration this add-on are using, including the config name and spec hashing. And the last applied config and the last known good config, most of the time they are the same. Means the last time you successfully applied config. And the last known good is also used for the rolling update with canary. And also to enable this feature, we actually introduce a new component called add-on manager. So in order to let your CMA be managed by the new components, you need to add a notation like this in your CMA so that your install strategy and the route strategy can work. Okay, that's a change we made on CMA. And on MC, we introduce a new condition called progressing in the status as to reflect the upgrade process for the add-on per cluster. And also in the config reference, it also introduced the name and spec hash. This config are synced from the CMA for each cluster. That's all for the main change. And next, I will do a demo to show that, so how we install the add-ons by install strategy, and how, when the configuration change, how we upgrade the add-ons on each cluster. So I have 4 cases to demo. First is to show how we can enable the new component add-on manager and do a fresh install with install strategy. And the second case is to update all the add-ons when the configuration change. The third case is a bit different from the second is that it's a rolling updates with the max concurrency rate you defined in rolling updates. And last case is that during the rolling upgrade, user can first upgrade the add-ons on Canary first, do some testing, and then upgrade all the add-ons. Okay, next I will do a lab demo. This is my environment. In this environment, I have to manage the cluster. And I have already modified the add-on Hello World to adopt the new add-on framework and get it running on the hub. You can see the add-on Hello World controller is running on the hub. And it deployed the Hello World CMA. And we can see the CMA details. So by default, the CMA install strategy tab is manual. That means the user need to manually create MC for each cluster. Otherwise, there won't be any MCA installed for each cluster. You can see the MC is empty now. This is the expect behavior. Then I will start with the first case. I will install the add-on manager controller and fresh install the add-ons with install strategy. And first, I will try to enable the add-on manager. To enable the add-on manager, you can choose to initiate by class admin, or you can modify the class manager resource with this add-on manager configuration to enable it, and also define your image prospect. And if I apply this resource, you can see the new component running on the hub. Okay, this is the controller have been running. And then we can do a fresh install for the add-ons. Here I define the install trap, change it to placement, and define a placement called placement all, and list the configs we want it to use. You can see the details of the config. It has a desired version for the add-ons. And also I already prepared 2 placements for this demo. The placement all is trying to select both of the 2 clusters, and another placement is canary is only select cluster 1. So for this install strategy, it will try to install add-ons for the 2 clusters. Okay, I will apply this resource and apply the config. And you can see the 2 MC are installed for cluster 1 and 2. And in the CMA, you can see the install progression. the placement all it's using the condition is 2 of the cluster installed successfully. And in the config reference, they are using config 1. And also you can check the MC for more details. You can see for each MC is also the status list. Each MC is using the config v1. Okay, that's the first case. Next, I will try to update the config and trigger the update all. Here the CMA is still hello world, but I modify the config name to config v2. Make a configuration change. If I apply this CMA, we can check the status. You can see the condition changed to 2 of the 2 are upgrading. It's hanging here because the config v2, I did not create this config. So SpyHashi is empty. It's waiting for the config. And let me create this resource for it. Once I create this config v2, and we check the MC status again, you can see the condition changed to 2 of the 2 upgrades successfully, and the config reference all changed to v2. Also, we can again change the MC status. You can see it also shows they are using v2. Both of the 2 are using v2. Okay, this is the second case. The third case is trying to rolling upgrade the add-ons instead of the case 2 is trying to update all. So in case 3, I will change the config to v3, and also I will define the rollout strategy. The type is rolling updates, and the concurrency is 25%. It's the default value. Since this cluster, we only have 2 clusters, so it will at least upgrade 1 cluster each time. And I will apply this resource. And let's check the status. This time you can see the condition changed to 1 of the 2 is upgrading. This is because we define the max concurrency rate. And also, since I did not create v3, the SpyHashi is empty. And let me try to check the MC status. You can see the first one, the cluster 1 is trying to upgrade to v3 with an empty SpyHashi, and the cluster 2 is still using cluster v, config v2. Then I will try to apply this config. And check the CMA again. You can see this time, since we created the configuration, all the add-ons upgrade successfully. The config all changed to v3. And both cluster 1 and 2 is using config v3. So you can see even you define the rolling update with a max concurrency rate, so everything happens very fast. You don't have time to do testing. And so the last case is I will trying to update add-ons on canary clusters first. So you can do some testing on those clusters before you upgrade add-ons on all the clusters. Okay, in this case, you can see I did not change anything for the placement all, but I add a new placement called placement canary. In this part, I'm trying to using config v4, the new version on Canary cluster first. And let's create this resource. You can see the Canary is trying to select a cluster v1. So once I apply this CMA resource, it should trying to using v4 on cluster 1 first. And I will apply the config. And let's check the status. We can see there are two install progression. The upper one is the placement all, and the bottom one is placement canary. So the one is installed with config v4. And also we can check the MC status. Also, you can see for cluster v1, it deployed the config v4 successfully. Both the configuration are changed to v4. And cluster 2 is still using v3. At this time, we only upgrade cluster 1 with new config, and the user can do some testing on the Canary cluster first. And if everything works fine, they can change the CMA to apply the configs to all the clusters. So steps 2 is if your Canary works fine, you can remove these parts and in your placement all change the config to v4 and apply the resource. Once it got applied, the install progression will only have 1 and 2 of them are upgraded to v4. And in the MC status, you can also see they all upgrade to v4 now. Okay, that's the last case for upgrading Canary cluster first. That's all for my demo. Any questions?
That was a really great demo. Thank you, Queen Hao.
Yeah, thank you.
There were quite a bit of details. I wonder if for these install strategy or rolling strategy, did we follow some kind of a convention, like some strategy that is being defined previously, and then we follow some specs? Like I know in our placement APIs and other APIs, a lot of times we take ideas from the original core Kubernetes projects and their core APIs. So do we do that here as well?
I think this is a part we are exploring. I'm not sure if there is some existing API we can reference for that.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah,
Any
after
other
this,
questions? Yep. Sorry.
we can, after STEM, we hope we can get more feedback. So maybe the API, we can enhance it in the future.
Yeah, I was just thinking out loud because it is kind of complicated, and I was just wondering if there's a reference, and then it'll be easier to explain to user. Oh, it's just like this or that. but it's okay.
Oh,
It
yeah.
is it is a complicated feature, so of course it's gonna be complicated. Makes sense.
Yeah, and that's also some feedback we have got. Or maybe after this demo, we can receive more feedback and I can enhance this API.
If I may ask a quick question, that spec hash, is that just a hash sum of the YAML file for the config? Or
It's
the YAML
hash
representing it?
only for the spec part. Not the whole YAML, it's only the spec in the resource.
Gotcha. So the spec hash corresponds to the config v3 YAML in these this slide I'm seeing.
Sorry.
Just that D390 that is calculated from the config v3 YAML, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. It's to more be specific, it's a spec only for the spec parts, not the whole YAML.
Okay, that's good to know. Thank you for that clarification.
Yeah. So the benefit is every time you change the spec of each configuration, this spec hash will change and we can trigger an upgrade.
Any other comments? And oh, QGen, go ahead.
No, just to mention that how to maybe we also need to share how add-on dev to develop to change the add-on to use this feature. Not sure whether we need to talk about that or maybe later.
I can talk about that. I can wait for a few minutes. I have a piece of slide, I think. I can copy it here. I can't remember where I put the slides. I think the maybe we can talk about it next time.
Yeah, never mind. I just maybe we should talk about it later. Maybe next
Yeah.
time.
Thank you, Queen Hao, once again. Any other questions, comments, any final thoughts for Queen Hao? If not, I think QGen or Yuan Yuan wants to talk about the 0.11 release.
Yeah, and it's just we are starting to tag the points 11.11 release from this week. So I put a PR about the update and release announcement in the website repo. So Mike maybe also need you to take a look and update anything that is missing. And since we are already tag all the component, including registration work and placement, we also starting the code consolidation process. So we are starting to move the code of those 4 repos to OCM repos from next week. So supposedly it should not happen. It should not take too much time. Maybe I think it may just take 1 week. So we will finish the first step. Yeah, I think that's all. I think the only thing that I hope everyone to take a look is about the release announcement and whether we need to tag a new release for the add-ons, whether we need to put some information about the update on the releases in the 0.11. Yeah, that's all.
There was some requests from the community about
Mhm.
the cluster proxy and the managed service account add-ons. There were code changes going into those repos, but they haven't those changes haven't been done in a release for a while. So are we going to do a release for those 2 add-ons as well?
Yes.
Great,
Yes.
thank you. Another question that came up in the community, just off the top of my head, so we have the cluster admin get token command, and when you run the get token commands, it prints out tokens equal, and then the token, but it also prints out in another new line the join command equals. So that, the output of that get token command is a little bit not that conventional. So one of the community user was asking, he's only interested in the token. So can we add like a token only flag to the get token command, and then it will only print out the token content with no equals or with no, the variable key. So it's just the token value. Do you think that's a good idea?
Let me think about that. So I think we already can return a JSON string. Like in
Yes.
a JSON string, we return things like the API server and token.
Yes, but the user complains that, in order to keep his container minimum, he doesn't want to install the JQ or whatever the tool that is needed to parse the JSON. So
Okay.
yeah,
So
please consider.
yeah, I was thinking whether we should have more general like approach, like we, in addition to provide a JSON format, it can also use a JSON path format, just like kubectl.
I see.
So they can just define the JSON path as token, so it return a token field, the field of token. But I'm not sure how much effort it is. Then maybe need to take a look at.
Do we have other cluster admin commands that take in a JSON path right now? I don't remember. I don't think we do.
No, I don't think so. I think for the cluster init command, you can return the result with JSON. I need to double check the code. I'm not sure Yuchen is here. Oh no, he's not here. I will check with Yuchen how that work. How does that work with the JSON flag?
Thank you, Kusha. Anyone else with any other comment for this week? Michaela, do you want to bring up anything? It's okay if there's nothing. I just see you in the meeting. That's all.
Hey, yeah, no, I don't have anything this evening.
Got it. Okay. If there's nothing else, thank you everyone for joining. Have a nice day. Take care.
Thank you. You
Bye.
too.